Right, folks, we've got a special announcement, ain't we, Steve?
Well, we have.
Yeah, my main man, Elliot, has been working behind the scenes, and he suggested that we do podcasts. Now, this is something that I personally have wanted to do for a while, since I've the YouTube, since Blue Van Man has started to grow. This is something that I want to do. And Elliot says, you've got to do something with Steve. Check Elliot's channel out, Elliot Hackney on YouTube. I'll put the link below, or he will. And anyway, so he says, you've got to do something with Steve and Sue, if Sue wants to chip in. There's no pressure on Sue to chip in. Is there, Sue?
No pressure.
No pressure. She's chipped in. She's chipped in. So what it is, what we're going to do is, me and Steve are going to try and do a weekly or 10-day. All depends how you feel,
It all
Steve.
depends,
Because
yeah.
Steve's sometimes he's not very well, and sometimes he's like flying around, buzzing, bouncing off the wall like bloody Spider-Man. So we're going to do this thing where, hopefully, do this thing on a company called Audio Boom, where we just do a podcast, don't we, Steve? We're just going to talk.
Yeah, we're just going to talk.
And
because we've been talking about it for ages, haven't we?
yeah,
It just hasn't happened
Yeah.
until relatively recently. Now it's all in place.
yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and get a routine up. We're going to try and get a script up as such. Is it a script? A schedule.
A schedule.
Where we'll just like talk about current affairs. Nothing too stupid, because I do tend to rant. Steve's going to talk about his experiences of his life, along with Sue. Probably do food reviews on the podcast. He's just going to go for it. So what shall we do, Steve? Shall we give him an example of what we would talk about? Because we've just been talking about this, and you sound really up for it. Elliot and Steve sound more up for it than me. I don't know why I've got my glasses on, because I'm not fucking reading out. But it just sounds really good, and hopefully this will take off. So me and Steve were just having a bit of a chat, weren't we? And we're going to try and give you a little example of what we're going to be talking about. Steve, tell us about the first time you flew. Not when you made wings and you jumped off your bed, but when you flew.
Okay, the first time I flew, because I love aeroplanes, because I've said that on a previous podcast, and people have asked me various questions about aeroplanes and me, and I've failed to answer them, so I might chuck in a few references on the way. The first time I ever flew, I'd be about 7. I was on holiday with my uncle and auntie, who are now no longer with us.
Jack and Joyce.
And Joyce. We were in Great Yarmouth, and at that time, I'm talking about late 50s, they used to do pleasure flights in 4-seater aircraft. Right, so you'd have the pilot and you'd have 3 passengers. It would probably be a Cessna at the time, and that's the first time I flew, and I loved it. It was an amazing experience. I loved the sensation of it. You could really tell when you'd left the ground, because you get that feeling in your stomach, as if the lift's going too fast, and I just loved it. It was about, what would it be, 10 minutes, quarter of an hour. Probably cost an absolute fortune.
That was the kind of thing Jack did, though, weren't he? Because
Jack was, yeah.
Uncle Jack was a real decent bloke, weren't he?
He was. He was my uncle, David's great uncle,
yeah.
My mum's brother. And I used to spend a lot of time with my uncle and auntie, because they only lived across the road from us.
Yeah.
It was the time when families lived in close proximity, so we were only just literally.
Well, you were on Oxford Street, weren't you? So you had you, and then across the road there were Jack and Joyce.
Yeah.
You had your grandma next door.
Yeah,
That's if she hadn't fell out with you. You had Gordon the other side. No, Gordon lived with grandma.
Gordon lived with grandma. His son lived with his mum. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was the milkman.
Yeah.
This is like years ago, and then you got. Was it Bernard round the other
round
street?
The next street?
And it was like it was some kind of soap opera thing, but that's how it was back in the day then, weren't it?
Yeah.
Everybody knew it. And you could leave your bloody door open.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that's a bit of a legend, but, figuratively speaking, yes.
Yeah, so you were up in the plane.
I was up in the plane. I was really enjoying myself. My auntie Joyce she was a bad traveller, and she felt airsick. She was terrible.
Oh, God.
So
So what did he do? Just take you up and flew out to sea?
flew
and
out,
then...
flew around Great Yarmouth, flew out to sea a little bit. You know, but it was a great experience, and I remember the pilot saying to me, as a small blind kid, "I don't know what sensations you're getting."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, it just feels great, you know."
Was the plane shaking quite a lot, or was it?
I can't remember that detail. I remember it was pretty noisy, as it would be in a Cessna 4-seater. And yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we probably did it again on subsequent holidays until such time that I went to Jersey with Jack and Joyce, Uncle Jack and Auntie Joyce, in an Argonaut. If anybody knows what an Argonaut.
Well, did Jason fight one of them?
He did. I can't remember who won. It must have been the Argonaut because we arrived safely.
Yes.
But the Argonaut, I think I'm right in saying there's some, you know, people out there who are more knowledgeable than me about aeroplanes. I think they had Lancaster bomber engines.
Really?
Yes, and the Merlin engines, and we flew to Jersey because we lived about, well, we still do, about 5 miles from East Midlands Airport?
Yes, yeah, we're not far,
5-6 miles away. So we flew to Jersey, and we did that several years. Then, years and years later, in the 80s, Sue and myself went on holiday with some friends, flew in a Boeing 737. I had the absolute pleasure of going onto the flight deck. It was years before all the security.
Yeah.
And all these idiots wanted to hijack aeroplanes, and you know, you get locked flight decks now. But in the day, you could go on the flight deck. I recorded that. I've still got that because we used to help run a tape magazine for the blind. We used to record all sorts of features. I've got that recording to this day. I did that a couple of times. I've had a flying lesson in the 80s from Stoughton in Leicester, the airfield for the flying club, and I interviewed this flying instructor, and he arranged for me to go on a flight, and he let me handle the.
He let you handle his joystick, did he?
He did actually. Well, it's yoke actually.
Yeah.
It was a big yoke and all.
Cool. Good lad.
And I've still got that recording to this day. You've probably never ever heard that in your life, have you?
No.
No. Well,
Keep it under lock and key.
it is there.
Yeah.
He let me fly the plane for a couple of minutes. It was a great sensation to be doing about 120 miles an hour.
Yeah.
In complete control of this aeroplane. And it was a great experience.
Yeah.
So that's me and flying.
Good stuff. I'll tell you what, I mean, I am not a big fan of flying. I don't mind flying. I know it's the old cliche. I don't mind flying. It's the crashing I'm not too keen on. But I do love it. And I've said this many a times, when you're sitting on the runway and it's like revving up in it and he drops the clutch and he
just goes for
and
it.
it goes and I love that. That is the only thing I like about flying, plus landing safely. But I'm not a big fan of flying.
Yeah, but I do like. You know, we have flown in Boeing 737, the 757s, all sorts of stuff. Over the years, and I do love it. I haven't been for a long time in an aeroplane.
So if somebody rolls up now then and says, "Steve, I've got 2 tickets for you and Steve you and Sue to go on a plane," and you'd jump at it.
I would.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
There you go, folks. Anybody rich out there who wants to put Steve on a plane, Steve on a plane, go for it. I'm getting in contact. That'd be a good podcast. That would, because I won't be going.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be really good.
I do love flying, yeah.
So this is just a little taste of hopefully what me and Steve and Sue will be bringing to you on our podcast, thanks to Elliot. Elliot is an amazing man. He's doing so much hard work for me behind the scenes, and I really wouldn't be lost without him. It's quite untrue. In fact, I don't think the channel would be anywhere as big as it is if it wasn't for him. So hopefully, folks, you'll enjoy this, what me and Steve and Sue and whoever else is going to be on this bring to you. You will join and thoroughly enjoy it. What do you think, Steve? You looking forward to it, son?
Yeah, absolutely. Another
Son.
occasion we'll talk about our personal experiences as
Yes.
you know, because we've done a bit of it as blind people, both blind people, and people seem to enjoy it. So I'll take you on a little journey further than we've investigated previously.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Hopefully people will really buy into this and you can give them the experience, because I don't think people, like we've said this before, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being big-headed about this, but I've gained so many subscribers in the past. I can't remember the last time I seen you how many I had.
Well, I think you've gained probably 25,000 since we last spoke.
Something like that. Did I see you when I went on the kick-off for me 100k?
Yeah, it was just about then.
Yeah, I think it was just before then, or around that thing, weren't it? So I've gained at least 15,000.
Yeah.
And people obviously don't know Steve and they don't know Sue, and then they'll come in and they'll catch up with them, and then they'll say, you know, is he on drugs? Does he looks like Putin and Neil Warnock and all that kind of shit, which is all good humour.
It is. You know, as long as people
laugh with us,
and well, you can laugh at us if you like. But,
people laugh at me.
You know, my aim is to sort of like, well, not educate, that's the wrong word, but explain a side of life which you may not know anything about, you know?
Yeah.
And
because people are just interested, aren't they?
They are.
Intrigued, I think the word is. Bit of a, I suppose it's a bit of a big brother thing, isn't it? They want to see into it and how it works. And to come out and do this and put your life out on a camera and on YouTube and everybody can see, you know, it takes some balls. You know, people think it's quite easy to do this. It fucking ain't, you know. It ain't, because you're out here and you can be criticised for anything. You've only got to say the one wrong thing and it's all gone. But we're not like that, are we, Steve?
No.
We're quite good. We're just going to talk about experiences, what's happening in the world, topics of the day, idiot of the week and that kind of thing, or, you know, whatever. So, what do you think of VAR? That'd be a good question, Steve.
I can't see anything in it.
Hey up, cuckoo's off.
Hey up.
It's 2 o'clock, so I think that's a good time to wrap this up. There'll be more details and more information about this when it's coming out. All right, folks.
Okay.
See you later.
Cheers.